Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the stream today. We do have the market going absolutely nuts this morning. I will say the SPY is not looking the best in my eyes. I think we're seeing some pretty crazy movement this morning with Microsoft and just a whole plethora of different stocks. So definitely stay tuned as we start to cover some of these big things here. Even Ford actually had some pretty big news this morning, believe it or not. So we're seeing big news come in all across the board, but obviously the biggest thing this morning that came out was this crazy Microsoft news. They actually looked to cut guidance here on their Q4 guidance, and it looks like that their sales and EPS came in below estimates there. So that is not good to see. It looks like they're citing foreign exchanges maybe for the reason of this happening. It looks like they say this is due to unfavorable currency moves. So I guess like they're saying kind of like the foreign exchanges are kind of hitting them hard, especially with inflation. I'm sure that some of those foreign currencies are going insane. But thank you guys so much for joining up. Keisha, Jamie, Vicky, George, Peter, and Mike. I appreciate it. We have Peter saying, let's go. Good morning, Tom. Yeah, let's go. Keisha got that first thumbs up in. There we go. Thanks, Keisha. I appreciate that. But look at this, guys. The SPY is still selling off here, and we are having some pretty bad technical setups here this morning. So looking at the SPY, we are now falling below a very key trend line here that the SPY has been holding up on over the past few days. If I go to like a 90-day, 15-minute chart, you can see whenever SPY touched 380.54 at the low over the past couple weeks, ever since it started ripping back to the upside, you can see that we've been kind of holding this blue trend line here at the bottom. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, almost like 5 touches on this ever since, ever since like before last week. For example, this week, we started kind of falling under this trend line, and I'm a little bit worried that later on today or possibly tomorrow, we're going to end up breaking below this big support here, like right around 406. And if we start to break below that, I have a bad feeling that the market might start to sell back off in a pretty big way, maybe back down towards like 400 or something like that. But either way, the SPY is just having a pretty brutal move here ever since the market opened. And I will say it's moving right on my trend line. So for example, we were holding almost right on the trend. And then right here, market open, we finally busted down through this. So to me, I think that that's a pretty bearish sign. Obviously, I don't know how much the market's going to sell off, but hey, I will say it's been selling off quite a bit this morning so far. So I guess I'll take that. Either way, it's my free day trade in Discord. So if you guys are looking for some nice free day trades there, I do have one posted about the SPY. So if you are looking to play something, I think that would be a pretty good play today. Lots of other big stocks, though, are falling off, of course. Apple's coming down. We have Twitter deep in the red. Even good old Tesla is now in the red by quite a bit, down 1.2, almost 1.3%. It was actually a lot worse a couple minutes ago, but of course the big one is Microsoft with them cutting that guidance. I mean, guys, that is brutal whenever a big company in the market like Microsoft cuts their guidance. That just goes to show how much some of these weird issues have been affecting companies. Like, they're citing a foreign currency issue as being why they're missing so much on this guidance. But I don't know, it's going to be tough to tell. Like, for example, I guess if they have a lot of Chinese currency or, whatever it is, I guess those different currencies, they obviously fluctuate a lot more, I guess, than the dollar. So keep that in mind. I know that there's always crazy things with like exchange rates and, like you guys could actually play like the Forex markets and actually kind of trade some of those currencies if you really wanted to. But yeah, well, let me know what stocks you guys are looking at today. Lots of movement to the upside and the downside. I will say the majority of my watch list looks like it's green, but I will say most of those are just the growth stocks. It looks like Chewy is continuing to the upside this morning. Let's see where it's going to end at here. Ooh, it's actually not continuing up. It's actually slowly but surely kind of falling back off, unfortunately. Man, they were up 13%. I was hoping they were holding, but I guess they could have opened a lot higher if they would have came in at like $30 or maybe like 28 or something like that. Kind of seems like a better area to look at. I always look at Unity here, and I will say Unity's having a pretty good morning. They're up like 2%. I noticed Boeing's kind of running up here. I wonder if some of those airlines like Delta, American, and others are running, and it doesn't really look like they are. So that would make me think that maybe Boeing has some company-specific news going on. Let me check this out here. Let's see. Jim Cramer likes this stock over Olayplex. Yeah, I don't know what this is with this article. Apparently, there's no big news that I'm seeing on Thinkorswim regarding Boeing at this very moment here. But I will say it does say, as of yesterday, Boeing secured a order for 60 Chinook helicopters from Germany. So that's good. I know those Chinooks are usually pretty big, and I'm sure 60 of them will be a pretty big order for Germany there. So looks like Boeing is going back to the upside. Talking about Germany, guys, it looks like they're ordering some Boeing Chinooks, like I just said. That's pretty funny. I know we were talking a little bit about Germany and their army over the past couple weeks, and hey, look at this. They're buying 45 to 60 heavy lift helicopters for around 4 billion euros or $4.29 billion. So sounds pretty crazy, guys, but looks like they're trying to build that fleet back up, which is funny. I just thought that was hilarious because we talked about Germany's military earlier in the week, but Keisha says VEEV and MDB got a nice pop. So let's see this VEEV. I've actually never even heard of this one really. Viva Systems. Yeah, I've never heard of this one too much, Keisha, but you're definitely right. It got a pretty nice pop there, so that's great for them. Let's see MDB. I've never heard of this one either. Mon God. I don't know how to pronounce that one, but man, it does look like it's forming a pretty good support down here around $250, and you know it's been consolidating a lot down here. Just like a lot of stocks are down right now, they kind of look like they have a very similar setup there, Keisha. I think they look like they could end up having some pretty good moves. Like you said, they had a nice pop, but it looks like they might have given some back here at market open, unfortunately. Peter says tech is weak and can tell it will lead us lower from Microsoft to Facebook news and how tech has been weak. Yeah, you're right. That Facebook news yesterday was pretty big too. I'm sure that didn't help set the tone for green movement this morning. And yeah, Microsoft is still going down here, which is funny. Peter says, Germany gonna end up like that guy from the SpongeBob memes. Yeah. Keisha says it's called MongoDB. Okay. MongoDB. Appreciate that. Vicky says Microsoft cutting guidance was minimal, but the market does what it does. CRM also had a big Forex charge due to the dollar strength. Square says good morning. Good morning, Square. Thanks for joining up. Peter says GLD is skyrocketing. Yeah, that makes sense, Vicky. You know, that does make sense that, you know, CRM had issues. So I guess it's okay for Microsoft to have some issues as well. It's never good to see. You know, I'm sure that Microsoft, Facebook, and now just a lot of stocks in the red are just going to be weighing the market down. But hey, I'll take the movement with GLD, Peter. That's actually pretty good today. I'll take that upwards movement. I think Mike called this one out as his free day trade in the Discord today. So it's it's definitely looking hot. Hopefully she keeps going today. I know GLD was back up around 180 and actually a lot higher than that for a while. We're kind of getting back into like the middle of that range again, around 170. Could have been a pretty good pickup there at 170 for anyone who's been playing GLD for the past couple years. It's been like really staying between a range. So yeah, keep that in mind, but you might be able to have some pretty good pickups on this one. And who knows if the stuff with Russia or something like that gets worse, who knows? Maybe that can actually help GLD go up. I know that in the past, it's definitely helped them before. So, you know, keep that in mind that it's something that definitely is affected a lot by news, the US dollar, obviously the feds. You know, there's a lot of stuff that can affect gold. Even foreign markets largely can affect gold too. I know like China and Russia do a lot with gold, so pretty crazy. But Zoom's coming up today, guys. We're having some pretty decent movement actually out of some of these growth stocks, so I'll take it. Zoom's coming up. Looks like RKLB's moving. Asana is trying to pop back up too, so hey, I'll take it. You know, Asana's reporting earnings tonight actually after market close, so that's gonna be really tough. Catherine says Zoom is moving. What do you see for resistance? Yeah, let's check Zoom out actually on the price action. So Zoom has actually been sitting on a pretty big support here, right around like 105 or 106 over the past couple weeks. You know, like we've actually been holding up here around 106 pretty largely for a while now, ever since Thursday of last week, almost a whole week now. So as resistance though, Catherine, I'm seeing a pretty big level here right around 110. I would love to see Zoom break out above 110, and then I think we could have a bit more of a pop. I will say there's another slight resistance though, right around like 110.80 to 111. So keep that in mind. But I do think that there's a lot of momentum here, and you know, if we end up popping above 110, or honestly, if you were gonna play a breakout or momentum, you should probably just play it right now, because you know, if it starts breaking 110 and then hits 111, that might not be too much movement. But if you could somehow get in now and play the break, it could end up being pretty good. But I am seeing that resistance there right around 110, and then after that 111. So keep that in mind. But I will say I like the intraday price action with Zoom, and I think that that could end up being a pretty good play here over the next couple of days, and even maybe for the next couple weeks. Like, who knows? This could end up being a pretty good little swing play maybe on Zoom too. But either way, it's looking pretty hot for a day trade today. So thanks for bringing that one up, Catherine. I definitely appreciate you there. Now that Zoom's up, I noticed Teladoc and a couple other stocks that like Kathy Wood holds is kind of up today. I'll bet that ARKK is doing pretty good. Let's see. ARKK. Yeah, they are actually doing pretty good today, up 1.5% on the ARK fund. So very interesting with that, guys. That is very, very interesting there. Let's see. We got Square saying Asana earnings. Yeah, they are having those earnings there tonight, Square. That's going to be pretty big. Obviously, it's just going to be a coin flip with Asana. But, you know, if we're looking at it on like some technical levels or something, Asana is holding up right now on a pretty big support at like $20.80. I will say they've had a ton of bounces at this support, guys, like 1, 2, 3, 4 over the past couple days. So maybe they're pointing back to the upside, but just keep in mind, if those earnings come out and they're negative, they'll just blast right through that support like it was nothing. So just keep in mind these earnings are going to be like a coin flip. But I will say, I hope that Asana has good earnings. It's been a long time since we've seen this stock go up. And, you know, Dustin Moskovitz, obviously Asana's like CEO right now, was putting in billions of his own dollars into this company. And he's the old co-founder of Facebook. So I would think that Asana should start going up eventually over the next like 6 months to a year. I'm not sure that this earnings report is going to, you know, make it blast up or anything yet, but I definitely hope it does. And, you know, so far we're kind of holding on this pretty good support. So I think that could be a pretty good little play there for Asana. Let's see. Peter says it's trying to break the 100 at EMA/SMA on the 1 month chart. What's doing that, Peter? Is that GLD? Let's see. I'll check if it's GLD really quick. I know that was the last thing you talked about. Yeah, maybe that's what you're talking about there, GLD. It looks like it is on the 1 weekly chart. It's on there. I honestly don't even look at monthly charts, but yeah, I just look at max weeklies. I can usually go back to like 2000 or something on my max weeklies, but nonetheless, GLD still popping up to 174 there, Peter, so I'll take it. Kenya says IMMX 42% change. Really? Let's see. IMMX. I don't even know what this one is. Imix Biopharma. Interesting, but yeah, they did have a pretty big pop up today. Looks like they might try to go on another run here, but I would be really, really careful with this one. I will say, Kenya, I've tried to chase a lot of these, I guess you could say, biotech companies to the upside before, and it's definitely been hard to trade these, I will say. So be really careful with these stocks. They can run up with some good news, but I will say generally I don't see people doing too well on these. And I know in the past, like whenever I first started trading, I used to try to trade some of these biopharma companies or biotech companies up all the time, and you know, it ended up just not moving, you know, like quite as well as, you know, like I guess one would expect. But it's okay. You know, it's IMMX. It's not anything too crazy in the market, so that's good. B Square says, when is Google and Tesla split? And thanks. So, yeah, Tesla's actually not even splitting Square. I don't know where you heard that, but I don't think Tesla's splitting anytime soon. They split in the past. They split a couple years ago on, it looks like they split on August 31st of 2020. So that's whenever they split. Let's go see Google, Goog. Google's going to be having their 20-1 split on July 15th, and Amazon's going to have theirs this upcoming Monday, Square. Maybe you meant Amazon. Amazon's going to have theirs on this Monday, so that's going to be a very cool thing to see. Keisha, are you still in your Amazon play? I hope you took profits on some of those up there on 2,500 yesterday morning. I know we were talking about that a ton, and I know they started kind of falling back off a little bit, but yeah, Square, it's Google and Amazon splits there. Google's is July 15th, like I said. Mike Chang says, remember about GNOG was acquired by DraftKings. Did that transaction ever finalize? Yeah, it did, Mike. The transaction did finalize. GNOG was acquired by DraftKings, and I believe the DraftKings on the day it was finalized got a bit of a pop back up. I remember that happening over the past few months at some point. I don't remember where on the downtrend this happened. Maybe it was one of these times where DraftKings had a pretty good spike to the upside, but nonetheless, it was cool to see them get acquired with that. Keisha says that they took profits after 135% yesterday morning. They scalped it. That's great, Keisha. Glad to see you got out of that one. I know you made a lot on it like last week and earlier in this week too. So yeah, great movement there, Keisha. I know you killed it on Amazon on that like pre-split run up. I will say we had a really good run up there on Amazon, right up into that resistance we were looking for of like 2,500. So hey, I'll take it. Came up right to the target. So really good trade there, Keisha. Not bad at all. She says VEEV and MDB is ripping right now. Yeah, VEEV is exploding here, up 12%. Good call, Keisha. Yeah, it's really starting to run up now. They had those earnings yesterday. I've never heard of VEEV, but hey, it's moving in a big way. I wonder how like CCJ. Wow, guys, check out CCJ today. This is starting to really run up. Looks like these uranium stocks are going crazy. UUUU is also moving pretty good, and it looks like UUUU or Energy Fuels here is kind of just sitting down here at the bottom, and who knows, it might be a pretty good play if uranium starts to come back. I'm not too sure that I think that these stocks can pop up too much though. Like you look at CCJ even on the chart, and they've had such a great past couple of years. I just would not be surprised if they started to consolidate a little bit, but hey, they're definitely moving with some good momentum, so I'll take it. Manny Money says, what about Starbucks puts? I'm kind of liking Starbucks for the long term here. I guess in the short term, puts can work out. If Starbucks ends up falling under the 76 support, I can see Starbucks falling off. It's just that as far as Starbucks goes, I don't think that it's just not my favorite play to the downside. I'm kind of looking to like add some positions on Starbucks here for the longer term, but as far as trading it in the shorter term, I think that trading it to the downside could definitely be doable as long as you see some pretty good moves here. Like I said, if you see a break down below 76 or something like that, who knows? Maybe it could be a good put play on Starbucks. Even yesterday, like look at Starbucks early in the morning. You could have definitely caught some decent day trades with that if you would have caught it to the downside. And same thing goes for a lot of stocks, even a lot of stocks that are green by like 6%, like Asana, for example. I'm sure there's some points to like play it to the downside, but yeah, we're seeing some pretty good moves today out of these growth stocks, guys. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but it's been a pretty good day here so far. I mean, we usually don't see these growth stocks popping up like this too much. We do see it sometimes, but man, it is really looking pretty hot today. If you guys are enjoying the hot movement, smash that like button. As always, it helps the streams, and the likes definitely keep us going here. So yeah, smash that like button. In the words of Matthew McConaughey from The Wolf of Wall Street, we got some rookie numbers right now. So yeah, we got to get those likes going up, and who knows, maybe we'll start pumping our chests like they were doing there over that casual lunch. But yeah, nonetheless here, we still have good old Asana holding up decently well this morning. I mean, just keeps going up. We're now up almost 7% and we just keep having this amazing movement back to the upside. Catherine says, hey, even DKNG is up. Is it really? Is it really? Because I know it was down in the red earlier. Wow, it is back up, Catherine. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy now. I didn't even want to look at it because earlier this morning I saw it in pre-market and it was kind of selling back off like 1340 again, and I did not even want to see it. But wow, you made my day, Catherine. You know, it's going right back up, and that is some pretty good movement there. I'll definitely take this type of green price action out of good old DraftKings. You know, you could have caught some pretty good scalps on this one this morning too. I will say though, DraftKings is getting really close. I have a personal resistance at like 1420, and I'm seeing another small resistance here right around 1410, like right where the stock is now. So hopefully they keep going there. But yeah, Catherine, that is a big move actually out of good old DraftKings. I will definitely take that great movement there. As far as the other growth stocks go, I'm noticing RUN is starting to run up just like DraftKings. Looks like Enphase is also still running up. CrowdStrike's running. I know that CrowdStrike also has some pretty big earnings or I should say tonight. So definitely keep your eyes on CrowdStrike, guys. You know, Crowd and Asana are reporting. This chart setup on CrowdStrike looks pretty good actually. Like if CrowdStrike does good, who knows? They could end up gapping up, and at least right now, intraday, they're starting to point back to the upside. So hopefully those numbers come in. You know, if CrowdStrike has negative numbers though, like Microsoft, and maybe they cut guidance or whatever, then who knows? Maybe it can end up being bad. I've noticed lately that guidance seems to play a big role. Obviously, Microsoft didn't report earnings today. They just came out with guidance, of course. But, you know, lately on most of the earnings reports, I feel like the guidance has been playing a very big role into a lot of these companies. So just keep that in the back of your head, you know, and of course, you know, the earnings plays are always risky, but hey, I guess everything's risky nowadays, right? Even going to the grocery store is risky now, you know, especially for some people who can't control themselves. You know, you'll end up spending you know, $500 at the grocery store if you buy too much meat and sweet shit or whatever nowadays. It's like, man, like, cannot believe the way prices are going. Like, I'm paying $20 for a goddamn steak now. It's like, what's going on? But nonetheless, I'll take it. I'll take it with the stock movement anyways today. Like Roku, for example. We have Matterport running up. Yeah, Matterport, MTTR, Unity. Yeah, we're seeing some pretty hot moves today, actually. I think that this price action is decent, you know? I mean, it's not all stocks are green, of course. Some of my favorite stocks in the market, like poor Kraft Heinz here, are back down into the red, unfortunately. We got good old Moderna in the red. Guys, Moderna is selling off in a huge, huge way. I don't know if you guys are interested in some of these put plays, but Moderna is really flying down. We're breaking actually below 140, which was a pretty big support there, and yeah, we're starting to kind of like blast below that. You know, as always, I'm not sure how much lower it's going to keep going today, but, you know, if you can kind of catch some of that momentum here, who knows? Because, man, it is really starting to fly down. Let's see Microsoft. Is it still holding up, or is it starting to come back down a little bit more? Yeah, it's still holding up okay. What about Pfizer? I'm sure they're down with Moderna. Yeah, there we go. Pfizer's down with Moderna, down 1.8%. Look at that daily chart of Pfizer here, guys. I don't know. Pfizer's kind of triple topping at $55. Who knows? This could be a pretty good play down. I will say I wish I would have caught this more up here at the top, but either way, it's looking pretty hot to the downside, and I think that Pfizer could have some pretty good plays over the next couple days, especially if we do continue down. But this setup's just pretty brutal here, and man, she is running. So throw this one on the watch list, guys. If you could catch this one down, I think it could make for a decent day trade or two. But yeah, that is crazy. Those banks are also coming back down. I noticed Bank of America's in the red. JP Morgan's in the red. We have Goldman Sachs also falling off. So not good to see the banks continuing to go down, guys. That is never good to see. Trading Lifestyler Peter says GME is looking to break out. Let's see. Good old GME or GameStop here. Yeah, it's actually not looking too bad, Peter. I mean, it's holding up okay. It's trying to run up. I will say it's not really doing too much. It's kind of staying flat, but yeah, it definitely at market open, it had that big pop from like 116 all the way up to like 126. So definitely had a big intraday move there, Peter. And then he goes, never mind, they just got clapped. Yeah, they did. It turned right back around on GameStop, but hey, it did have that big move at open, and I would think that maybe with that NFT marketplace coming out, Peter, I would think that GameStop might be able to do a little bit better here over the next couple months. I would think that they could start to maybe at least go up a little bit. I will say, like, I don't expect them to explode or anything. And when I look at like a max daily chart, they are still fairly high. So I don't know. It's a tough one. I will say the daily setup looks kind of good. Like, it's not like the worst daily setup I've ever seen right now. I will say over the past year, it's looked really brutal, but right now I like that we have this nice extension up, and who knows, if we hold up, maybe we'll start to come back with that NFT marketplace coming out. Even AMC was trying to come up at market open, kind of like GameStop, Peter, but yeah, even they are turning back over as well. Man, I was hoping AMC would do better because of all those good numbers coming out, like with the Star Wars, or not with Star Wars, with what movies were there out? Well, what movie was just out that's big, guys? I already forgot, actually, believe it or not. But there was like some big movie that was just out, and obviously that those big movies help AMC out, of course. Man, it's like on like the tip of my tongue. I just cannot think of this new movie. Hang on. Oh, it's a Tom Cruise movie it's Top Gun 2. That's what it is. Top Gun. So that's what it was. But yeah, nonetheless, though, that really makes those movie theaters go crazy. And, AMC, as we know, is is going crazy here. Gonna do a quick check back in on good old handy dandy Microsoft here. Yeah, oh, wow, not good, guys. They are starting to fall back off. Looks like they hit that 1,000 SMA on the 5-minute chart, and they're starting to fall right back off to the downside. That SMA is also right where there was a previous wick at in pre-market, so yeah, seems like that area, like 267.50, is going to be a big resistance level intraday today, so we'll have to see where Microsoft ends up, but looks like now she's pointing back off to the downside, which is not good. Looks like Apple is also starting to turn over, and Apple recently hit that 150 resistance, and they just cannot break out above that for some reason. I don't know why they can't, but they're having a lot of issues there. Tesla actually came back up in the green, believe it or not, but with the way Apple, Microsoft, Pepsi, man, there's just a lot of stocks back in the red today. Amazon, Disney's back in the red, all these banks, McDonald's, Apple. Like I said, those banks are playing a big role too. I bet we're going to see that SPY continue down, and yeah, there we go. Guys, I'm telling you that this technical move right here with the SPY is not good, okay? Like this SPY is setting up in a very bad way to the downside. We are starting to break some pretty key trend lines that we've been holding up on over the past few weeks, or over the past few days, I should say, ever since the SPY's been on a pretty good uptrend, and now we're starting to fall right back below, and you can kind of tell, like, right where I'm hovering my cursor here, guys, there's been a bit of confirmation here. Like, for example, we fell below the blue trend line, we slowly traded around here, and then we confirmed off of it this morning in pre-market, and now we're having a pretty decently sized pullback right back to the downside. So we're definitely seeing those stocks start to fall back off to the downside, which is not good at all. So I hate to see that. But yeah, the SPY is just not looking good. I hate to see it running down like this, guys. And it sucks. We're finally breaking below that key trend line, and it's just it's not good. We've been holding up on that trend line ever since the middle of last week, and it's just bad to finally fall back below it. But we'll have to see where the price action takes us. Maybe we could end up coming back, but it's brutal with the way Microsoft cut their guidance, and it was just pretty bad day, I would say, guys, for stocks. Just not the best in general. Not bad, I guess, for some intraday trades if you guys are looking for stuff like that. But overall, I'm just not liking the main movement that I'm seeing in the market here. It's not good to see at all. Not good one bit. But Let's see. We have Peter says SPY broke below 407.70. Yeah, that's not good. Square, Peter, and Catherine all said Top Gun. Yeah, thanks for helping me out there. I definitely could not spit it out there. That was pretty funny. Hunter says Corsair's in the green. How many seconds before she goes red? Man, let's give it man, Hunter, let's give it 30 seconds. No, I'm just joking. I think maybe she'll hold up today. Who knows? Maybe good old Corsair will end up holding for us today. I sure hope that's the case, but yeah, I'm not going to be too overly optimistic right now. That is for sure. Yeah, I'm seeing them hold that $15 support right here, or at least try to. So yeah, it's looking pretty crazy here with Corsair. Guys, if you guys want to see Corsair and more stocks go back in the green, smash that like button. Of course, we're at 9 likes right now. We have 21 viewers, so you know, if we could get up to like 15 or 20 likes, that would definitely help out a lot. I know we've gotten to 20 likes a couple times this week, so you know, maybe we can. If we get up to 20 likes, I will change the theme on the live stream, and we'll change it to the Federal Reserve screen, which has like money going around, and it has like the Fed building on there and all that stuff. So hey, if we get to 20 likes, I will change to the money being thrown around. So we'll see what happens today, but maybe we'll hit that like goal. But yeah, let's see some more stocks here running, guys. You guys seen anything else running up in the green? Just let me know. I'm noticing a lot of these metaverse plays are starting to run up, like Roblox, Unity, Matterport. I mean, guys, they are flying back up here. Matterport's really breaking out. I noticed Unity looks really hot actually here too. Yeah, it looks like they're about to break their high of day around 41. And if that's the case, I feel like that could be a pretty good day trade to the upside. I know Roblox has been crazy over the past few months, and who knows, that could be a really good day trade today. I've noticed the price action looks very good. We're starting to finally see some decent movement here. You know, like we're bouncing up above $30, which 30 should be a pretty big, like nice, even psychological level in people's minds. You know, I think that would make sense that $30 is like a pretty good, like, psychological level. But I don't know, you know, lots of these growth stocks are coming back up. We'll just have to see what can happen. You know, we have AMD kind of popping back up. Lots of stocks are starting to move. I mean, man, this could be pretty good, actually. Yeah, Mike said AMD's popping in the Discord. It really is. I mean, AMD is really starting to go. Wow, that could be a pretty good breakout trade there. I'm actually going to say that right now in the Discord. Yeah, I mean, AMD is moving, guys. If you guys like this momentum on AMD, give me some W's in the chat, because, man, we need to see some good breakouts with this one. It's been just consolidating. And it's right at the key. It's right at $100, too, which is pretty big. I mean, that's key there. It's right at, like, bouncing off $100 the past few days, and we're popping back up to, like, 104.50. So, yeah, we're holding up very strong here on AMD. It's looking very good this morning, guys. If you guys are, you know, interested in some of these plays here, AMD is really moving. Yeah, this one has some good momentum. Let's see good old NVIDIA. Yeah, even NVIDIA, guys, is starting to pop up with AMD. So, yeah, we're seeing these stocks start to really come back up, which is great. Hopefully the SPY can hold up, guys. I mean, it's been looking brutal over the past couple of hours. I can't believe how low it's still looking, even though a lot of these stocks are coming back. Man, Microsoft better start popping back up. It seems like just Microsoft, Apple, and a couple other ones are still just slowly weighing the market down now. Like those banks potentially, because like Tesla's going up. Like you would think that would help the S&P 500 out quite a bit. I guess it's just mainly the banks, and then of course like Disney, Microsoft, Apple, those types of companies. Like I said earlier, even Kraft Heinz right now is down like 5%. That's so brutal. I hate to see him down like that. It's definitely gonna start weighing on my portfolio again, that's for sure. I've been holding Kraft for a while, guys, like ever since last year in the middle of the year, around midsummer. So, you know, I've been holding it. It's been doing very, very well, especially for a while here. We were up to like $45 a share. Now we're popping right back down. Looks like we're sitting around 35 now on craft. So yeah, brutal movement back down on this one, but I will say they've been paying me some pretty solid dividends here. Like for example, if I hold this one for another year, I'll probably be up no matter what just because of the dividend. But yeah, nonetheless, it's a longer term, slower moving play. My whole thought was it would do good with inflation, and it really did actually. It did very good with inflation for a few months, and then as like Walmart got hit, that's like right whenever Kraft started falling off. So, I could honestly just blame Walmart and Target for this. It's their fault. If they wouldn't have reported those bad numbers and they wouldn't have crashed 40%, I don't think Kraft would have fallen off. But nonetheless, it's just how the market is right now. I guess they're going to be expecting consumers to spend less. I know we've even seen like Clorox start to fall off lately too. They're kind of like Kraft in a way. They have a lot of sister companies and a lot of companies under them that they run. Like some cookie brands, different food brands, and different like stuff like that. So definitely big. Let's check back in on Boeing though. I know we talked about that big news earlier with those Chinook helicopters from Germany. Looks like Boeing is still continuing up here, and I've noticed that a lot of the other airlines today have not been doing as well. Like Delta's up in the green, but you can see they're not really moving all that much. We have American Airlines not really doing squat. Even Jets, the ETF, isn't doing anything. But Boeing is starting to run, so that's good. I have a good feeling that this is a lot of that a lot of this is due to like I said, them pretty much. Germany ordered 60 Chinook helicopters here, and as I'm actually reading through the news, it looks like Boeing is teaming with a Canadian industry to offer a P-8A Poseidon. I don't know what that is, but it sounds very interesting. Maybe something like for the water. It looks like Atlas Air takes delivery of 4 Boeing 747-8 freighters. So Boeing's had a few good pieces of news. I would think the main thing moving it, though, would be that order of Chinook helicopters. That should be pretty big. It's going to be worth like $4 billion. Nothing like super insane or nothing, but hey, it's definitely good. And it looks like they're phasing out their CH-53 fleet, and they're going to be, getting these new Chinooks in. So sounds pretty good for them. I hope that they continue to order more stuff. As we talked about, though, maybe we don't want Germany ordering stuff. They've been over the past couple world wars. I don't know if you want to give them any good equipment or not, but nonetheless, this sounds very interesting, though. This P-8A Poseidon. Like, I want to see what this is. It says it is a aircraft, or it is an aircraft here, but there's no pictures of it on the website. Let me see if I can, like, try to look this up or something for you guys. P-8A Poseidon. It's an anti-submarine warfare aircraft. Never heard of this one, guys. I have never heard of this one. I cannot believe that I'm pretty big into, like, airplanes and stuff, too, but yeah, it looks like it's a pretty new type of plane designated to, pretty much try to go after different submarines and stuff, believe it or not. So very interesting of an airplane here. I'll bring it up here on the pictures just so you guys can kind of see like what this thing looks like, because I will say it is very, very interesting to see what this is, and it looks very interesting, guys. Like overall, like that P-8A Poseidon, I don't know, like maybe this is something from Top Gun, guys, but it looks very, very hot there. Whenever I'm looking at like the P-8A, it's just looking so hot because we have pretty much just so many aircrafts out there. Like you would think that some of these aircraft, like the P-8, would end up doing fairly good. It's looking pretty hot, and it has like a lot of Navy markings. It looks like it drops some bombs, like we can see here. It's obviously like dropping some type of explosives out of it. It does, I will say, look more like a regular aircraft though. Like it's nothing crazy. Like it's not like a crazy jet, like a F-22 Raptor or anything like that. It's definitely no F-22, but hey, it definitely looks pretty cool there. But nonetheless, Boeing stock is flying, guys. Like it's ripping up above 136, and it's having really good price action this morning. I will say it looks very good. Square says, be very careful of the SPY resistance pre-market low. Yeah, definitely. We got to be really careful of that. Square, of course. Kenya says, check out Tesla. Yeah, Tesla's going here, Kenya. We got up to 760 today, which I would say is pretty good. Hopefully we can keep going. If Tesla could get up to like 770 or 775, I'd be extremely happy with their movement. But yeah, so far it's having some pretty good moves to the upside. Definitely looking pretty good though. You know, it's having good price action, and we've actually seen a lot of stocks today start to pop up, guys. Like, it's actually been a fairly good day in the stock market. Vicky, if you're still in here, I know Fubo is popping up for you. Up 7.6% in second place on my watch list right now to Chewy, good old CHWI, believe it or not. So very interesting with that. I noticed Roblox is also kind of going insane. So yeah, we're still seeing these growth plays still kind of hold up here at highs. I'm curious to see like if Palantir can keep running, guys. I thought I saw some news this morning related to Palantir. Let's see. Good old Palantir. Wow, yeah, it's been brutal here with Palantir. I hope that it can keep going, but let me see if I can find this news here. Oh, Peter actually put it in the Discord. Let's see. Thank you, Peter, for the news here again. Let's see. Yeah, it says Palantir expands partnership with U.S. Space Systems Command. So that's very interesting. You know, I don't know too much about how Palantir is going to help out in space, but hey, it definitely sounds interesting that they're, you know, getting in with, it looks like they call this SSC, Space Systems Command, Battle Management Command. Very interesting. I don't know what they're doing here, but maybe we'll have some fights out there in space soon, guys. I don't know, but seems like very interesting stuff going on with Palantir in space, and they're talking about just the readiness of having Space Force and everything like that ready is going to be huge. So yeah, seems pretty good for Palantir, and there it goes. They have another extension up now. They're up to $9 a share, and they're actually looking pretty hot here. B Square says, good luck, guys, and see you tomorrow. Sounds good, Square. Have a good one. I appreciate you joining up this morning. As always, it was a pleasure. So hope you have a good day, and hopefully you can bring in some nice profits today. Let's see here, though. Looks like Palantir's running. Guys, let me know what stocks you want to see. You know, it looks like on my watch list, we still have the same stocks up here at the top. You know, we still got good old DraftKings and stocks like that continuing to run. And talking about DraftKings, guys, they're starting to break out. I know Catherine brought up DraftKings for me earlier, and the way that they're starting to break above 1410, that previous resistance from a couple, I guess you could say like 30 minutes ago, is now looking a lot better. You know, we're breaking out, and who knows where we're going to get to, maybe like 1420 or something like that. It looks like it's definitely trying to run up there. Let's go back to that SPY. SPY's now actually doing a lot better here, popping back up a little bit. Let's see that 5-day, 5-minute chart. Yeah, there we go, coming back up to like 410 off of 407.50. That's a pretty big support down there from yesterday. I'm curious to see if we'll be able to break below that or not. You know, it's going to be a brutal time to see what happens here. I feel like that the SPY is just going to go all over the place. It just depends really what these big stocks do. Let's see. Is Microsoft coming? Yeah, Microsoft's trying to come back. Yeah, we have Apple roaring back. Tesla was going back up. So, yeah, as long as these big stocks, guys, keep rising, I think that the SPY can definitely start coming back here. AMD, NVIDIA. Yeah, AMD is about to hit that high there again, guys, around 104.50 or 104.55. Like I've been saying, that's a big resistance there. And with the SPY moving up, you know, who knows? It looks like it might try to go up and break this now. So hopefully we see that happen. You know, honestly, it would make for great price action. And hey, I'll take this upwards movement for sure, guys. Like, it's been a long time since I've seen, you know, the good old portfolio going up like this. The unfortunate thing is that I'm holding AI too, and they were down pretty big yesterday, and after hours, which sucks. They better AI better start recovering back, guys. They had a pretty bad EPS there, but it did beat those negative estimates, which was good. It's just, yeah, they just couldn't help themselves out. I think their guidance ended up being kind of squat too. So overall, though, AI needs to start doing a little bit better. If we look at like their max daily, they've been just brutal, straight up brutal, just like a lot of other stocks like Zoom and stocks like that. But hey, you know, they're coming back today, so definitely not looking too bad. Glad to see Zoom, guys. I know we've been eyeing up Zoom for a long time, actually, and I really like this setup here. Maybe if we could start to break 112.50 or 112.87 like we were at on Tuesday, could make for a pretty good move here. You know, I think this is setting up quite well. I like the price action, and yeah, we're starting to finally maybe hold up above 110, which was a pretty big, you know, upper level like that channel there. So glad to see us holding up above that with good old Zoom. Let's see, what are some other like big movers today? I'm kind of seeing these credit card companies like Visa and MasterCard are kind of popping up this morning. I noticed Visa is having a fairly good day, actually. It's like holding up above like the 500 SMA there, or actually that's the 500 EMA. Then it's also kind of just like holding its ground at 210, which was a pretty big support. Let's see, MasterCard. Yeah, MasterCard's starting to move pretty good too. So these credit card companies are coming back, actually, guys. I know on the daily, they were looking brutal for a while. Look at MasterCard. It was actually all the way down to 320, but now we've been slowly but surely recovering right back up to like 326. So we'll take it. Vicky says, it's about time for growth to rise and shine. A JPM head of equities analyst that I really like has a 4,900 price target for the S&P. That's encouraging. Let's see. 4,900 price target. Let's go look at good old SPX. Yeah, Vicky, that is very encouraging to see them have a 4,900 target. I'm curious when that target is for, though. Like, is that a target for, like, the next year? Or is that a target just, you know, in general? But, yeah, hopefully this SPY keeps coming back up today, Vicky. It's trying to pop back, I will say. I'm not going to be too overly optimistic. I still feel like the SPY could end up falling back down a little bit, but yeah, thank you, Vicky. It's definitely about time these growth stocks come back to life, that's for sure. Honestly, if the SPY goes down and growth goes up, I'll still be happy. So as long as we see some good movement in general. Peter says GME, believe it or not, is doing good. Yeah, it is actually, Peter, and I will say that setup on the daily chart doesn't look bad in my eyes. I will say, like, whenever I see stocks go up like this and then consolidate down, just like GameStop has, I will say I feel like that I usually see some pretty good pops, you know, like maybe like back to the upside, for example. So I feel like that GameStop should start to go back up here maybe over the next couple days. That is a pretty good technical move there, Peter. And we're also bouncing off the 1,000 SMA on the 5-minute chart. Now, I'm not attributing this 1,000 SMA to, you know, the stock being, you know, the 1,000 SMA is not the main reason why the stock's moving up right now. But I will say, though, it is kind of interesting how it's double bottoming right there, and it looks like a big support is starting to form. So yeah, good call out there, Peter. I hope that GameStop keeps running up. You know, I think it'll just make for some nice movement, and overall, you know, it's having some pretty good price action. I really like that setup on the daily. Whenever I go intraday, I don't like the setup near as much, but whenever I go out to that daily, I start thinking that it looks pretty hot. Let's actually see if we can draw like a bit of a flag, because I'll tell you, it looks like GameStop's in like a flag pattern to me, almost like a bullish flag, I guess. Wow, you know, it's actually lining up really, really close. Almost like spot on, actually, guys. Actually, guys, we're gonna have to get into some technicals here now for a minute. Let's see, because that is kind of looking like a bit of like a, I guess, like a flag. The only issue is like the bottom wasn't really forming up like a flag too much, but I guess if you count this area here as the support, you know, you could count that. I will say maybe it'll end up just trading between this this range I'm posting here, but maybe not. We'll have to see. You know, these technicals are always kind of crazy. I will say this one's not setting up as well as I've seen other setups like this set up, so we'll have to see what happens, but maybe we'll start to break out of this flag back to the upside. Who knows? Maybe we'll start to see a secondary move up. I think that would make for some pretty good movement if it does happen. Just watch it, guys, because I will say that at least this upper level up here has been very good. The bottom level is a little bit hard to find. You know, like I said, I think it's somewhere right around like 117 though, so I think that'll be the main area to look at there for GameStop. But yeah, nonetheless, it's having some pretty good movement, Peter. You're definitely right. It's trying to pop. Even AMC is trying to come up a little bit, so not too bad. Vicky says levels for Tesla, Tom. Let's see. Sorry, Vicky, I kind of skipped over your question there. But, oh, wow, Tesla has a big resistance coming up, Vicky, right around 780. That's going to be a big level for them. So I would say the main thing with Tesla is going to be 780, Vicky. If we can break above 780, then the next main level I'm going to be eyeing up is 800. If we can break 800, then I'd eye it up to 820. So that's going to be the main thing. I got you, Vicky. I got you. Don't worry. Don't worry. I got you. I came back to you. But yeah, it's looking pretty good there. I would say, like I said, 780, 800, then it looks like 820 after that. You could maybe say 810 is also mixed into there, but yeah, Vicky, I would say 780 is going to be the big one over the next couple days. You can see that was a pretty big resistance on Tuesday, like right where I have my cursor. I think that ended up being a very big level of, kind of like of resistance there. So kind of crazy, but pretty crazy to see Tesla in this type of price action here. It's been all over the place. I will say I'm not too surprised that stocks were consolidating a little bit this week. We've seen some pretty crazy movement. Like last week, Tesla went from 617 all the way up to 778. Like, what was that movement up? But like over the course of just a couple days, you could have caught on shares, you could have caught like a 25% uptrend there. That's insane. Yeah, that was pretty funny, Vicky. Vic says, "Hi Tom, would you short Tesla?" Just one option. No, personally, right now, I would not short Tesla. I will say, I think Tesla could end up going down today. I will say, guys, that SPY had a huge rejection at 410, and now we're ripping right back off to the downside. So, yeah, it's definitely not good there, but wow, yeah. That SPY rejection, guys, was insane. Wow, I mean, that is crazy. Wow, I cannot believe the SPY rejected right here off 410. So crazy, guys. I mean, that is pretty crazy. I mean, that is a bad rejection. Right off of 410 too. Like, wow, that is not good. So yeah, I hate to see that. Hopefully we continue to maybe move back up here on the SPY, but yeah, personally I would not short Tesla. Although I think it could be a good play. If the SPY does keep going down, I think that Tesla could end up maybe falling back off a little bit intraday. Now, I don't think Tesla is going to crash and burn back down to like 720 today or anything like that, but I think you could see a bit of a small pullback, especially if you start seeing like Apple, Microsoft, and some of those other stocks start to turn back over. And I think that we're starting to see that. We're starting to see that with Microsoft. We're starting to see that with Tesla, Apple, all those big stocks there starting to turn back over there. Definitely not good for the market and not good for just about anything. So yeah, look at Apple here, guys. I mean, we all know Apple's like the largest stock in the market as far as market cap goes, and yeah, they are tumbling over. They're staying below 150 in some pretty big ways, and yeah, it's looking especially brutal today. I hate to see it kind of running down this much. That is, ooh, that's not good for like the biggest company in the market, guys. That is not for sure. Here we go, Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft also still turning back over, so not good there. Vicky says, don't play earnings unless it's from profits. Yeah, not me. That rejection was crazy after the 20 points up. Yeah, it was, Vicky. I'll tell you, the SPY was really ripping up there for a second, and now we're ripping right back down. Sometimes you just got to trust these setups. Like I'm telling you guys, like this bright blue trend line, I think came more into play today than people realize. Like once we broke below that, as long as we didn't start flying back up above that blue trend line today, I still think that we were poised to the downside, and I still feel like the SPY has a pretty good shot to still make new daily lows here. I would think the SPY could be able to get down maybe like 405 today, I would think. I think that could be a pretty good way to go. Bick says, Tom, one more question. Lulu, RH, CrowdStrike, what do you think about earnings? Yeah, like Vicky said, don't play earnings. I don't think it's too. I guess I don't think it's the best thing to play, but I will say they're definitely fun there, Bick. And it's kind of like gambling at the casino whenever you're playing earnings. So Lulu is kind of like a retail store, and I've noticed a lot of retailers like Kohl's, Walmart, companies like that have not done too well lately. So I don't know. I would say be careful with Lulu. I think there's a pretty good chance they could end up going down. Although I think that Lulu is a bit of like a specialty store, so they could end up going up. It's just it's very subjective. With Lulu, you're just looking at mainly like their sales and how many customers are coming through the doors and everything like that. As far as RH goes, or Restoration Hardware, kind of the same thing. Another like retailer, I guess you could say. Not necessarily like a retailer, but they deal a lot with like wood and stuff, and the like lumber prices have been insane the past couple years. I think that RH could be pretty good. It's not my favorite Bic. I would rather play Lulu on earnings personally, but that's just me. I think Lulu has a better chance to go up. CrowdStrike though, now CrowdStrike might be the best one on earnings. Who knows? This one could have some pretty insane moves. I would expect CrowdStrike to move in a pretty big way. Like I've seen a lot of those stocks in their sector kind of go crazy lately. So I think that they could end up moving up. With CrowdStrike, if they really rip above like 175 or 180, I think they could start to really rip up even higher. They have a pretty big like semi gap to fill back up to 200. So I would think that CrowdStrike could do good. Vic says Warren Buffett is holding RH big time. Is he? I actually didn't even know he was holding Restoration Hardware, but that's a good call, Bick. If he's holding this, then I would think that it's a pretty decent play. Just keep in mind that Buffett doesn't always win, but in the end, he does very good usually. So, yeah, this is actually pretty good, Bick. Thanks for telling me that. I'll have to look up the exact like weighting that he has with RH there, but yeah, it's definitely looking like an interesting stock. And as it continues to fall off here, I'm gonna definitely look for some big supports to form. It looks kind of like, it kind of looks like, I guess you could say RH. Just looks like a lot of the other growth plays. Like a lot of other stocks have been kind of falling off like this, and I would say RH is kind of like right on schedule. Kind of falling down just like that. So, yeah, kind of brutal there. Vicky says Lulu will report good earnings in my opinion, as they are very well positioned. However, always a gamble. She says CrowdStrike will also report good earnings IMO, but always a gamble. Yeah. I mean, I would think that those two have a better shot to report good earnings than RH does, but just keep in mind that earnings are always subjective. Hopefully you win on them, Bick. If you do end up firing any of those plays, just let me know in the Discord. I'll definitely be interested. I'll be in there kind of hawking the chat and looking for him. So, yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for joining up, Bick. I appreciate you joining and asking some questions. It really helps, and I feel like there's a pretty big, there's some pretty good possible moves there with those stocks. So hopefully you catch some big plays, and like I said, if you do end up catching one, let me know in Discord. I'll definitely be interested. But yeah, we're approaching the end of the stream today, guys. If you want me to cover anything else, just let me know in the chat, and I will look at it really quickly here. But I'll just cover a couple more things here really quick before we go ahead and hop off of here. We do have good old Asana, though, still turning back over. Hopefully they can continue to hold up, but they're still staying like up there at like the top of my watch list. I noticed a lot of these growth plays are now starting to slowly fall back off to the downside. Looks like the SPY is trying to break below that low of yesterday, right around like 407. And personally, I think it will. I think we'll start to see a pretty big move to the downside. So I have a pretty big feeling that it's gonna end up moving down. So I think that we can fall a lot more today as well. I see a lot of guys in Discord are kind of like trying to trade this one off to the downside, say with SPY, and I feel like it can definitely go. So yeah, definitely throw some of these stocks on your watch list, guys. Definitely not the best day in the market. There's been some pretty crazy stuff going on. As always, I'll be here tomorrow morning. If you're interested, share the stream out with your friends. Let them know, hey, You know, these guys go live every morning at market open, and you know they'll analyze some stocks and stuff like that for you. I'd love to get in here and maybe get some more trades going. You know, get some more day trades and stuff like that going on in the chat. It could definitely be really cool. So, like Vicky says, hit that like button, guys. I appreciate you guys joining up. Thank you, Vicky, Bick, George, Peter, Kenya, B Square, Raymond, Manny Money, who else? Mike Chang, Jamie. Thank you guys so much for joining. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and you know, keep killing it out there. Hopefully you guys make some good profits, and if, like I said, if you guys play those earnings, just let me know in Discord. I'll definitely be interested in seeing if you guys play any of those trades or not.